You're now listening to the show about the shit in life that's just a bit too much, from the perspective of stand-up comics. With our hosts, Carmelo Bongiovi and Ken Krantz. This week's topic, Logistics Part 2. With our guest, Liz Glazer. This is A Bit Too Much.
We're watching one now. It's a total gimmick. It's the best goddamn gimmick.
Oh, really? What is it?
It's a reality dating show. And they're all virgins.
Oh.
And it's called Are You My First?
Wow.
They take all these virgins with their mad, virginal, awkward energy. And I'm not talking
older virgins?
mid-20s up through mid-30s.
Okay.
Hosted by a couple of virgins.
This
like
is
reality.
like the rejects from Love on the Spectrum.
It's, well, here's the thing. It's an interesting combination of very religious people.
Okay.
So you have Mormons, like LDS.
Yeah.
There's a handful of LDS members.
Right.
You've got one lady who is beautiful.
Okay.
Like she looks like she would be on The Bachelor or The Bachelorette
Got
instead of like Weirdo Island.
Yeah.
But she has a doctor's note why she's a virgin.
Oh.
Like she's got some condition.
Oh, like vaginismus.
That's
or
exactly
something.
what it is.
Okay.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
can't get it to relax.
Right.
So even if she's with somebody
Yeah.
that
Can't
she's
get it to relax.
yeah, like it needs,
That's
like
a funny way to say
they
it.
have to
a
like
thing,
train the
yeah.
vagina to like,
Yeah,
hey,
yeah.
chill out. Even if she's
Right.
with somebody that she's
I
comfortable
just like the
with.
terms you're using.
Yeah.
Chill out, bro.
Yeah.
Like, come on. Hey, relax.
Yeah.
Take a breath. Like, just it's not that bad.
Yeah.
So even if she's with somebody that she's safe and comfortable with,
Yeah, it's just
she
it's
She
just-
basically needs like poppers.
right.
Okay.
Something.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
But then, so you've got her, and then you've got religious people, but then the rest are just pent up weirdos that have never been able to talk themselves
Awkward.
into getting laid.
Awkward. That's
They
fine.
just
it
found them
is-
in a chat room.
Yeah, there's a lot of side hugging.
Okay. Got it.
There's
Well, for the guy virgins, it's if they do a front hug, they'll,
but there's
they'll
a
ejaculate.
there's a girl
Oh,
on
God.
there. There's a girl on there who has an OnlyFans
Oh,
and
interesting.
has done everything
That's interesting.
other than
Okay.
sex.
Got it.
And
That's fascinating.
she hates everybody. All
She
she
did a
did.
comedy set on
They
OnlyFans.
have a roast. They do a
Oh,
roast,
really?
and one of the dudes is a stand-up comic.
Okay.
And I don't know his last
Yeah.
name. He
All right.
looks like
A
imagine
virgin.
if Joe List was a virgin.
Okay. Sure.
She-
Got
that's
it. It looks like jealous.
Yeah. Yeah.
but it is so funny. Like I
Yeah, of
cannot
course.
stop laughing.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah,
it's so much awkward energy,
Right.
That you can't. I
Well,
Well,
can't
yeah,
but
that's
that's-
why they're all virgins. 'Cause
Yeah.
they exude.
But
this
that's
awkward
like
energy.
what I would love about a show. That's really my point about reality TV is like, I mean, because I like trained my whole family like as though I'm Mark from Rent, that I'm going to be filming from I don't know how long I've been doing it, but like a long time, where we would just be at brunch and I would just like landscape mode start filming my family. And so I have like all of this footage, and there's
Do you have an intention for it, or is it just like memories?
no, I just needed it. And I don't know, like, I'm glad I have it, especially like, you know, my dad's no longer alive. And so like, I have these moments, although what's funny is like when my dad died, of course, like I compiled, you know, a memorial sort of video for like my brother and my mom and stuff like that. And the amount of editing out of my dad just being my dad to make him like worthy of being mourned was so intense.
Yeah, you gotta take out like all the weird things they do.
Because my dad, to his credit, in my opinion, was extremely funny, but without trying to be. He was very blunt.
Yeah.
And because I had, you know, I think like really just conditioned my family to have me filming weirdly in the corner for so long, they really just let let it go because it's not like I was posting stories.
Right, so they weren't holding
Right.
back.
Yeah,
because
I
they
was
didn't-
just like hoarding this on a hard drive. So they're like, whatever, Elizabeth's just being Elizabeth. And so my dad, like I had, like my brother would show a picture of somebody to my dad. He's like, ugly. And like, just stuff like that where he didn't care. And, it was just fun. My dad, like his personality, he would... Like, when cars started beeping because you don't wear the seatbelt, he would just let it beep. And so if you were driving...
That makes me crazy.
Obviously.
I would open the door and roll out.
But that
makes
was
me
my
insane.
dad's personality is like, you're not going to tell me what to do. And by you, I mean the maker of this car. And also everybody in this in
It's
the other
an
seats.
immigrant anti-authority thing.
Fuck you,
dad would
Henry
park on-
Ford.
Yeah.
My dad
totally.
would park on sidewalks sometimes.
Ah.
Just
And there was still a spot, but like he was like,
He
I'll
wasn't
be
looking
parking.
for a
He was
Yeah.
drunk.
he was, also yes. Also sometimes he was just drunk.
Yeah.
He is literally always drunk.
Uh-huh.
But it's like this it's funny. It's like the mindset of a lot of immigrants of that. When did your dad migrate? Like
46 years prior to when he died. So he died in 2020. So like the 70s.
yeah, so same era.
Yeah.
There is a thing about I think immigrants of that time and everyone's like go to this land where we are going to like
Right.
have a better life.
Yeah.
And I want to assimilate in certain ways.
Yep.
But then in other ways, they
Oh,
still
yeah.
have this like anti-authority
100%.
thing about them.
Well, first of all, my dad's accent, he sounded like he arrived earlier that day for his entire life.
yeah, my dad too.
Yeah.
My dad does sound like that.
And so, and I'm like, that's got to be a choice because I know people who came at the same time as he did. And my dad sounded, Elizabeth, you have to, like that the whole time.
Right,
And it's not like that was who he was around. It's not like his whole family
So
spoke.
you think it's a choice to keep to
Yes.
Yes.
not try to work out?
100%.
That's so interesting. I never thought of it like that.
Yeah.
Although that logic, like if I apply it to my dad,
Yes.
that completely makes sense.
Yeah, he's
like,
not
no, I'm not going
letting
to try
that
to.
in.
Yeah.
And I think that some people do. And it's like, I think it's 100% a choice and a personality. And like my dad was extremely stubborn. And yeah, so it's not to say that like I love watching every single video of my parents at brunch, like recreationally, but I do like them. I think they're good.
Yeah.
Like
That's a sweet thing to have. Go back and
and it's
watch
like
that.
now
Yeah.
I apply it to my parenting where I am my daughter's documentarian.
Right.
Like it's like if she has a cute thing she's saying, I'm like, I got to get this because it's going to
same.
go
Yeah.
away. And I don't know when it's going to go away, but I'm going to get it before
Especially
it does.
that age now, they're saying words so funny.
Oh, yeah.
And then they're going to start saying words like my
Normal.
daughter's only 4. She still says some words incorrectly,
Right.
but now she says so many more words correctly. And I'm
Yeah.
like,
I
man,
know.
that 2-year-old learning words thing is the best.
amazing.
Sound in the world.
Yeah.
Like
It is.
those incorrect
That,
words
like,
are the best.
Yeah.
Pipsqueak voice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the-
And just the enunciation, it's
Right.
all off. It's
You
great.
know what I do? Like
Yeah.
I would like to do what you do,
Yeah.
but it just sounds like so much work.
Oh, yeah.
So what I've started doing with my daughter
Yeah.
is we just started this, but once a year we come in here,
Yeah.
right around her
Oh,
birthday,
That's smart. Right.
and I interview her.
Yeah. That's
So I
amazing.
interview her about her
Right.
year. What are you into now?
Right.
What's your favorite things? So it's
Yeah.
eventually,
No, totally.
I'm gonna have a document of her
Right.
growing up from
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. There's also, just on, this is different, but just because we're on this like tear about reality and stuff. And sometimes I forget this, but there's this, the Up movie series. Do you know what that is?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's really interesting and also really boring. And I don't know if you've ever seen
I don't know
them.
what that is.
I saw
So
the
it's
first one.
Isn't that the
basically
dude
this-
that lifted his house with balloons?
No, that's the movie Up, which is
I was
great.
like, I don't think that was reality
but
though.
This is a British movie series that comes out every 7 years. And it's like 7 Up, 14 Up.
Oh,
28,
yeah.
20
I've heard of this. I do know what this is.
And the last one I saw in the movie theater with 20, 80-year-olds who are also interested in this. But, and it's not, it's like kind of good, but like not that good. So it's sort of,
It's more fascinating. Like that.
yeah, it's like
the
a
project is-
fascinating thing in a weird way. And I do really like whenever people, I mean, we've been talking about like the spectrum and like autism and stuff like that. I don't know that I've never been diagnosed with autism, and I kind of like I'm fine to be or not to be diagnosed with it. But like whenever people talk about the symptoms of it, I'm like, I kind of maybe have it. Like going back to even the logistics of comedy and like how excited I get, like just making like that's a little bit autistic, I think. And then also, you know, the obsessiveness about like, we have to have the completeness of this project is like, you know, kind of that as well.
Yeah.
And I happen to be very good at socializing and like talking and reading people in a certain way. But I know that I read books about that, like when I was in 9th grade, because it was very hard for me, because I had a really difficult 9th grade, because I came from a school in New Jersey where it was 56 kids. I knew all of them and I was fine. But then in 9th grade. That was the
Orthodox school?
Well, both were. So it was an Orthodox school in Englewood, New Jersey. And then the high school was in the city, in New York City. And so the high school was like, we went into a school where it was only like 8 or 9 of us from my old school, came into this New York City school where kids were like legitimately cool.
Yeah.
And I definitely, I mean, I wasn't at all, but also I definitely wasn't in that environment. And I really closed in on myself and like wouldn't talk and just was so awkward and whatever. And I remember I was like, I don't know what to do. And after 9th grade, I was like, well, maybe I want to switch schools. My parents were kind of like open to it because it was such a bad year. But then I read this book. It was called How to Flirt. It's by this guy, Marty Westerman, who I cannot find because he's playing hard to get, which was a game he invented. But I really can't find him. And but it's like the size of a pamphlet, and it was about not flirting in the sense of what he calls hunting, which is like, he's like, first of all, never do that. And second of all, like anything is flirting. It's not sexual. It's not romantic necessarily. It's just like a conversation that you have where you and the other person come away feeling better.
Okay.
And so you could flirt with a baby. You could flirt with a customer service representative.
You could flirt with
well, yeah, totally. But it's like, you know, you could flirt with the security guard or whatever. Like, it doesn't matter. It's just about like enjoying conversation.
It's like, like in terms of like when you don't know the person.
Yeah.
Like starting a conversation.
Yeah,
and
right. Like things that are awkward, that don't have to be. And it's basically like his point was like conversation starts to be scary when you think that you're trying to like get something from it. And the point is that like in your life, you're going to have conversations where you're scared for one reason or another. You're intimidated, you're on a job interview and you want to get the job or whatever it might be. But if you can train yourself to enjoy talking so much that you stop caring about those other things, then you'll be good.
Might try to be getting out of and failing at getting that thing.
Right. Yeah. And so I read that book and it just was this like manual. It was basically steps 1 through 15, basically, where I started to understand talking to people in a kind of way that was like, I don't know. Like, I mean, I don't know where Marty Westerman is, but like now there's so many people who have autism diagnoses that like, I feel like he should be working more, is my opinion.
Right.
Because I'm not saying I definitely had that, but whatever was going on with me when I was 14 years old was pretty severe. And this book got me out of it.
And you needed a guide to, how do I break this ice? How do I get through this? Yeah.
And something about that book like really just clicked for me. And I mean, I'm not going to say I'm the best conversationalist, but I think I'm pretty good. And I feel like I learned it from a book, which is kind of, you know,
slightly autistic.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Or psychotic, you know,
or
like maybe,
whatever
maybe
it
psychopath,
is. I'm just saying, like,
there's that too.
Yeah, like, and it's not.
No, I see what you're saying.
It's not that I couldn't talk to anyone. Like, I was always good at like talking to my mom or whatever, but like, I just didn't have it, you know, in certain situations, and I didn't have it in a way that was like pretty bad. You know, where I really couldn't be broken.
Because it freezes you too.
Yes.
Like when you get that anxiety, anything you're getting anxiety over, like you're gonna overthink.
Right.
And then the
and
second,
you're gonna be weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're gonna be weird. You're gonna be two in your head, and then
Yeah.
the second, when you start thinking of things to say that would add to the conversation, then you just stop yourself.
Yeah.
Right? Like you're just
Yeah.
like, oh, wait, that
Right.
might have been good. No,
No,
don't say it. You're
totally.
gonna get made fun of. You're gonna get made fun of. Don't do it. Don't do it.
I mean, I honestly think between that book and then improv classes later in my life was like how I became like a good person. Yeah. Totally. So anyway, whatever. But
And now as a parent, do you find it to be a good skill to deal with? Because we were talking about this a little bit.
Yeah.
Not with the kid necessarily.
Yeah.
It's easy to talk to your kid, hopefully.
well, wait.
But
yes, I do.
I was gonna say with other parents.
Well, sure. I don't really care about the other parents.
Yeah.
I'm just going to be real about that.
Yeah.
Like, I know people are like, oh, am I going to be friends with these people? I'm like, I literally don't care.
I don't want to be friends with them.
I don't.
Like,
yeah,
I really don't.
I'm fine with it, but I also am just like.
Same. Like,
I'm 46 and I have a 2-year-old. So already I'm babysitting the parents.
and you're tired.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like tiring. It's
I
like,
just don't care.
yeah, it's like you don't.
And
yeah,
also,
I'm with you.
here's the thing is like, I have been in the sort of like high school environment, whether it's when I was in high school and read this book to get out of my woes, or in comedy,
It's
you
very
know,
high school,
yeah,
yeah.
totally.
Yeah,
but also
totally.
like law school and a law firm. And then when I was teaching, I'm just like, I've lived in enough scenarios where I'm supposed to try to be cool that I'm just like, I know how to do this. And the answer is to just sort of rise above it in whatever way you can.
Mm-hmm.
So I just like, I don't participate in the fray of like, oh my God, we all have to sign up for this dance class. It's like, no, you don't. Because whatever this dance class is, if all of them are doing it, it's going to suck. And so if you actually want to dance, which I totally support, we'll find you an actual good dance class. And until then, you'll be watching me and your mother, who, by the way, are excellent dancers. Okay. So that's the thing is like, and my wife and I we were fighting about this last night because, okay, so, you know, bottles, right? Or as Eloise, my daughter, calls them, which is such a better word, babooshes. If you've ever said the word bottle, I'm going to tell you the word baboosh is a
lot of kids
vast
say
improvement.
babas, but baboosh is
Baboosh.
better.
Well, first it was
a
babu.
little Middle Eastern. I like
babu. And then she was like, you know what? I'm going to add an oosh to most of my words. And so then baboosh was born, and baboosh is amazing. We say baboosh. We're never not going to say
you
baboosh.
take
Do
on
you
the
have
kid
this
language.
just by the glass, or do you have it by the baboosh? And they're like, honestly, we have a baboosh, because then that restaurant will start saying
I love
it.
getting baboosh service.
Oh,
when I
totally.
go out.
Yeah, we're popping babooshes. So anyway, that's the clip. But do you do that? Do you like to know what the clip is? Yeah, I love figuring out the clip. I mean, you can't do it too much in the moment.
No, I do, no, don't say collective you. I do.
Oh, yeah.
He's not figuring out the clips.
Oh, really?
I'm not. A lot of times I'm surprised to see what the clip is. I'm like, oh, that's what he went with?
Interesting.
When it's
Interview Liz?
posted.
Yeah, you forget to see if it happened.
Right.
I just found out a few weeks ago we have a theme song.
Oh, that's funny. Wow, you really don't help. But so
Like to hit him over the head with a baboosh.
totally. Right.
Yeah.
You're gonna say baboosh now. I love
Yeah,
that.
yeah, bring that
my
home.
name, so I'm mommy and Karen's mama. But then recently, or at this point, it's like a few months old. But like Eloise was like, you know what? Your name is now Mamish, and that's so much better because like
I like the
E.
flair. She's putting flair on the
Right.
Yeah,
She's sort of like a Russian man, and so anyway, but anyway, so she wait, what was I saying?
Baboosh, mamish.
Yeah. So Karen and I were fighting because, but not, I mean, she's probably going to be like, we weren't fighting, but that is a fight. But she really, so Karen grew up having a speech impediment that she had to go to speech therapy until she was like 10 or something. And so, you know, we're all parenting, trying to avoid the specific traumas that we endured.
Right. Of course.
And Karen was like, so there are these Dr. Brown's babooshes, which Eloise vastly prefers to any other baboosh.
Right.
The other ones hardly even are called a baboosh. I'll be like, here, do you want this baboosh? She's like, literally will throw it. Yeah, and I'm like, yeah, you're right, because that's
that
not a
container
baboosh.
away from it.
Yeah, it's like
That's not
with
a
a
baboosh.
straw, and she's like, I don't want this.
Get
I
that
want
shit outta here. Yeah.
nipple energy.
Yeah.
And so anyway,
doesn't?
so,
Yeah,
right.
same.
So she wants the baboosh, and she knows I know what she means when she says baboosh. And so Karen was like, you give her the babooshes, but I don't want to give her the babooshes because those are maybe going to make her have a speech impediment, which, by the way, you can clip this because I want the internet's like answer to this because apparently if you have nipple type bottles, then that leads to speech impediments.
I've heard that.
Right. But I don't believe it. I don't believe it at all. And am I a speech therapist? No. Do I have any qualifications? I do not. But
you believe it strongly.
But I do believe it.
That's all that matters.
I have that about a lot of things. I'm like, I know it doesn't. There's no way.
Karen's like, it's been shown to, which I don't doubt. And also I don't have any expertise. And I do respect Karen saying, I don't want her to have this baboosh. But sometimes like she wants a baboosh in a moment of like real coming down from a major meltdown. And
comfort.
Yeah. I'm like, whatever. Just like give her the baboosh. But anyway, but so Karen's like, the reason I'm bringing this up is Karen's like, well, I don't want her to have to do speech therapy and kids are going to make fun of her. And then, like, God forbid she'll have like social problems. And I jumped in and I was like, she will not, because she has cool parents. And then I'm like looking at me and Karen and I'm like, this is who I'm talking about. Cool. But I'm like, she's going to be fine because we're good. And I'm not saying, so that's all I mean is like, whenever I feel like there's the whole fray of like, you got to get this thing or that thing or sign up for this class. I'm like, I've been through this before and it just doesn't matter. And it's like, I want to not be my dad about it and not be gaslighting her to think like, what, you think that's cool? Like in the same way that I was like, davening is cool. That's praying for Jews. And
I just learned something.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you didn't know?
Where's Jew?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I feel like we had very different Jewish experiences.
Well, again, I know
up.
what I'm doing wrong. Yeah. That's my education. So anyway, but like, I don't mean it that way, but I'm just saying that like, I think she's going to be fine because I read How to Flirt. I think.
Right. Well, also,
don't worry, Eloise. Mommy read a pamphlet in the 9th grade. We're all going to be fine.
We're all going to be fine. Yeah.
I'm still looking for the man who wrote it.
Right. Marty.
But, I think there is, I agree with that. Like, you're talking about it. Sometimes I feel like being aware is half the battle. Like when I think about our parents and like how just it felt. Maybe they were more aware than I'm giving them credit for, but they felt like they were not aware of anything going on.
I agree.
Right, and like I feel like just the fact that you're thinking about it, you're having the conversation about it, is probably more than the conversations that our parents had.
Right.
Like I feel like our parents were talking about not necessarily us.
Money.
Yeah, money.
That's what my parents were talking about.
Yeah, money. Or like if it was about us, it was about the things that were making us do. Like, like this is like I remember being put into baseball. Like I got into baseball later on. Okay. But at 5 years old, I did not like baseball. Yeah. But I was playing baseball. Like because my brother played it, and that's just what the other little boys did.
Yeah.
So and now I look at my daughter who's younger than that, and we've already been like, well, do you like soccer?
Right.
Do you like it though? Yeah. Like I know you're doing pretty good, but do you like it?
I don't ever remember being asked if I liked anything as a kid.
My dad one time force-fed me a rotten meal at a restaurant because he didn't believe it didn't taste funny. Wow. Like everything was literally forced down my throat, and then I got sick and then he realized halfway through he was like giving it to me, and he's like, oh wait, that does smell weird. Like that's the mentality of my Sicilian dad.
Sure.
Like, no, I've decided for you how this is going to go. I will literally force feed it to you. And as I got older, if I decided to do things or not do things, it's not like they were like they weren't that bad. But like when I was at a certain age, I mean, you do have to make decisions for your kid, of course, and introduce them to things. But I think about the soccer, or my daughter does love dance.
Yes.
So like now that's become her thing, and we're like, oh, maybe you don't have to do soccer anymore. But we talk about it so much. Yeah. We worry about it so much. Yeah. We're like, is she doing too many things?
Right.
We make ourselves insane.
Yeah.
Because we're overthinking for sure.
Sure.
But I do think, I'm saying this in the same way you are. That's like, I think half the battle is just that the fact that we are even paying fucking attention to it. You know what I mean? And maybe there's too much. Maybe we're the helicopter parents. Maybe we're gonna fucking give her anxiety because we're too in tune. Yeah. I don't know. There could be that too. Yeah. But I think I'm again, you try not to repeat the things that you didn't find right with your upbringing. Yeah. We could be doing a whole bunch of other trauma that we don't know about. I'm sure they're gonna talk about us, and there would be the same way you're talking about them, right?
Right.
but I'm at least trying at least to like pay attention to it and
Yeah.
not be like, oh, fucking
Yeah.
who cares? It's just kids. That's what kids do.
Right.
Well, that's what little girls do. Like that
Right.
mentality of like, this is just what the gender does, or this is
Yeah.
just what a kid of that age does. It's
or
like,
following the pack really in any way and having the pack dictate why you should do something.
yeah,
Right?
Right.
Like, because I feel like I mean, I want to also say like things that I did appreciate about my parents, not because I feel bad, but just because it's also something that I'm trying to remember is like, so I have this background where I, had all this education and then I left it behind, and I have a joke about it, which is basically just like, oh yeah, like I became a comedian like everybody does. Like you go to law school for 3 years, you practice for 2, teach for 9, get tenure, and then you do stand up. Like, isn't that normal? And anyway, and I'm glad I have that joke, and in a way there is a truth to it because that's literally what happened.
Right.
And
so it does feel normal to you when you
kind
go,
of,
yeah,
right,
that's
exactly, because
true,
it's literally my life. And so that's part of the reason I like the joke, because there is as much truth in the punchline as there is punch in the punchline, which I always think is like, you kind of get extra points if you didn't lie at all and you're still able to get the laugh. That's like another game I play with myself. But anyway, so there is truth to that. But it's also like, when I think about, what of that is like good, right? Like I wouldn't have been able to get to where I am, whether that's financially or whether that's like with whatever amount of confidence I needed to get on stage. Like maybe the first 7 years of me teaching law school were in a way like what I needed to get on stage.
So training yourself to be in front of people.
Yeah,
like that.
in a way. And so it's kind of like, but when I think about my parents' role in that, my parents, children of immigrants, as I said before, and like my dad was always like, you have to have a profession, and it was so important, and no matter what. And my mother too. I mean, I was, by the end of law school, literally, I had like a mental break and was so anxious, and I was in a psych ward for a time, like just prior to when I graduated from law school.
Wow.
And I think it was like just really the culmination of that, right?
I just like that you got out of a psych ward and was like, I should go into stand-up.
Well, but only years later.
Years after that.
Yeah. But that's true.
Clearly you learned something
What's going to
in
make
that
me
psych
feel
ward.
good and confident?
Yeah, what's going to, for sure.
What's going to get me right back there is
What's the
stand-up.
quickest way back?
What's a
into this?
professional, like how can I live this every day? What's a
Totally.
professional version of being in a
Honestly,
psych
I
ward?
wouldn't be surprised if I saw people there at like an open mic. But anyway, so I was there, and that was really a part of my life. And my mother, so I went to law school in Chicago, and my parents in New Jersey, but my mother flew to Chicago, lived with me for like 2 months because she was like, if I have to be here with you for you to finish law school, I will. And like, she and my dad were like, you got to get her to the
right
finish
path.
line.
Yep.
Because she can't have done the 3 years and just like a month shy without finishing it. And so when I think about like the moves that my parents made on my behalf, I think what they remember is like the sacrifices for like paying for private school, and it was so stressful. And I don't poo-poo that at all. But I really think about it as like that couple months that like, it was my mom who lived with me, but it was also my dad who was like, taking care of my brother, and, they made it work together because I think they realized, and I think they were right, that like, listen, you got to graduate
this far,
or else like it's not worth it that you did all this, and then you're going to be saddled with the debt anyway, and it's just like you need. And also
you've already got most of the debt.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
But also my mother really did me a solid because like at that time in law school, they were having these like presentations from loan companies that I'm sure were, gross companies
predatory.
Right.
Yeah.
But she's like, we're going to go to, they would give you like free pizza or whatever, and you sign up with them or whatever it was.
The next 15 years pay for it.
Yeah. But my mother I wouldn't say my mother, not that she's not financially savvy, but like, it's not like she has that reputation in general. But this move, was like everything, because she's like, we're going to go to these lunches with the loan companies so we can like assess what they're doing. And I had no idea, because it's like I was 21, 20 years old. I had no clue what was being thrown at me, which is the gross part of all of this with education.
Right. Yeah.
But anyway, so my mother was there with me, and there was this company that basically you sign up with them and you pay 3%. And then if you pay on time, you pay 2%. And then a year again on time, you pay 1% for the life of the loan. And she's like, we're going to sign up with them, which like, thank God I did that, because afterwards I would have been subjected to like all of the rate raises with like the loans. I would have been paying like 8 or 9%, but then I paid 1% for, whatever. Anyway, so it would, those moves, like where my mother was like, I got to step in and like,
they had your back.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
They did. And so, whatever. I mean, I would love to be able to do that for Eloise, but also, to really pay attention to like what she seems to be
before
interested in.
Before she gets to the psych ward.
Yes.
Like that element of it, because as you're saying that, like, they had your back in your best interest, clearly.
Yeah, they did.
But also, you were so stressed that it drove you to that place.
Exactly.
And it was like, but you still have to finish, which in some ways, like, they are right. Yeah. But in other ways, it's like, okay, but the person's breaking down.
I know.
Right?
Yeah.
So there's that, but at the same time, I'm sure that, like, once it was done, you were like, okay, I'm so glad I got through that.
Yeah. Yeah,
it was a delicate thing, though. Like you're watching your daughter break down.
What kind of law did you practice?
So mostly, I did real estate law, but what I wanted to do was teach law, which was eventually what I did, despite the fact that I really arguably shouldn't have gotten that job. They're very competitive jobs to get and whatever. But so I taught law I was a law professor for most of my law time, and I taught property because I was a real estate lawyer for like 3 seconds before, and they always need people to teach property because it's a really boring class.
Yeah.
But I that was like really where I started doing comedy in a way, because it was so boring and I so didn't get it. Like I got a C in property when I was a law student. And so then I'm teaching property and I was like, I better learn this class because I'm teaching it. And so I really had to
Could you
work.
have passed it?
Yeah, I don't know. But it is hard. Like it has the reputation of being a really hard class because nothing about it is intuitive. It's sort of its own language and like whatever. But I, in order to teach it, really had to teach myself. And so that's when I started really making like analogies to my personal life. Like I remember, so there's this system of estates and land, and it's like super boring. We definitely don't need to get into it, but it's basically like, here are all these words. And if you've ever like read a deed, like to a house, it's like the words on the deed of a house that you're like, okay, I don't know what this means. And it's like, nobody really does, but they have meanings because land is older than we are. We want to make sure that we're conveying the thing that somebody ultimately was conveying in 1776.
Yeah.
And so we're going to use the same words, even though they mean nothing intuitive. And so you can't really deviate from the words. And so I was like, oh, that's like my dad in any restaurant, because my dad didn't speak English.
Right.
And he would always be like, I want the grilled chicken. And like my mother would have to order for him, and we would have to broker the deal with the waiter because we're like, he's super weird and foreign and he's going to berate you if you don't bring him exactly what he wants.
Yeah, even though there's no way you could understand.
You have no idea. We have no idea, except for the fact that we live with him, so we kind of have a clue. It's grilled chicken, and yes, we're aware this is a Chinese restaurant. Like, and so that's what we were dealing with. And so my first like bit effectively was like telling my students about my dad in restaurants as a way of explaining the level of ridiculousness that was the estates and land system.
That's interesting.
And and
that's like a comedy method, like
100%.
Joe, those analogies to say this is like this.
Yeah, and also nobody said that to me when I was in property class. If somebody had said, listen, this is crazy and there's no reason any person should understand it, I would have been like, oh, okay, fine.
It's okay that we're confused.
Yeah, then it makes sense that I'm confused.
But it makes you feel dumb if they don't say that, right?
Exactly. And my property professor acted like it was his first language.
Right.
And I was like, why?
Yeah, idiot, why don't you
Right. Like just, make it like normal that it's weird. and then it would be normal and we would all feel like sane people. And so anyway, so that I did that, and it helped me to understand it better, of course, but it also, I think, like made it a more enjoyable experience. I mean, I don't mean this in a self-congratulatory way, but I was like absolutely killing at 11 in the morning with fluorescent lights on. And so like, and I know that because I remember I was 27 years old when I first started teaching, super intimidated. I didn't think I deserved the job because I didn't. Like when I applied for this job that I would end up getting, my recommenders, like the people who were recommending me to this job, were like, you're never going to get the job. Like there's no way you're going to get the job. And I was like, okay, well, whatever. But anyway, so I was super intimidated and, couldn't believe I had the job. But anyway, so I walk out of class one day, and I was, first year teaching, 27 years old, scared out of my mind. And this like guy who I was teaching with, like a member of the faculty was like, what are you doing in there? It sounds like a comedy club. And at that time I had no intention. I did not know that I was going to be a comedian. And I was horrified because I was like, oh my God, they're not going to take me seriously. They're not going to, I'm going to get fired or whatever. And now I think back and I'm like, I can't believe I wasn't recording those sets. Like, what was I saying?
I was going to say, if you're getting laughs in a law class at 11 in the morning under fluorescent lights, right. There's something.
It's an auspicious beginning. I mean, the other side of it, not to play the other side, but I am a lawyer, is like, well, the bar is very low in that situation. Like the other professors are, no offense, really not funny.
And they're not expecting to laugh.
It's like being office funny. It's funny because it's like we were miserable. And I'm not Somebody said something humorous.
We're trying to compliment you here. Don't downplay it.
No, I know. But I'm just, but anyway, so that was like my kind of first... I didn't think of it as connected to stand up at all, for real, because this was in 2000.
Like, how did you get?
I mean, that was like many years later, and basically, I was like a few years in. I had a visit at Loyola Chicago, and it was really because I was like in a relationship in New York that I sort of needed to be extricated from, and I was only, I was like 30 or whatever at the time. Like, this was a long time. I'm 46 now, so this was a long time ago. But anyway, so I went to Loyola Chicago for the semester, mostly just to get away.
Right.
And that's when I started taking improv classes, and I really fell in love with improv. And just like would watch it all the time and was just like, oh my God, this is like a revolution, and whatever.
Is that where Second City is in Chicago, right?
Yes. Although I would go, no, I was at IO, Improv Olympic, but they don't call it that because there was a lawsuit by the Olympics, I believe. But anyway, so, but it's IO Chicago. It's the same people pretty much. But anyway, I was just like really obsessed with it. Like it was my religion. And then got into a relationship, and I was trying to move to Chicago for a while. Thankfully, that didn't pan out, the relationship or the move to Chicago.
Right.
But because I was kind of going back and forth a lot, I was like very steeped in improv at the time. And then there was an improv instructor who was like, hey, have you ever thought of doing stand-up? I think you'd be really good at it. And I was like, no. And then she was like, okay, well, I would put you on my show and give you 10 minutes on my show. And I was like, no. And then she was like, oh, well, a lot of people would want this. Like people would like really kill.
Take the opportunity. Yeah.
And
stop saying no.
Right. And I was like, okay, well, I do like things that other people want, so I'm gonna do it. And then I did, and I really loved it a lot. And like that was kind of the beginning of the end of my time in law, because I mean, it wouldn't happen like the next day, but basically like about 11 months later, I got a buyout was what happened. Like the school that I had a permanent position was experiencing like a budget moment, and they were offering all tenured faculty buyouts, and I was newly tenured. And so even though that moment was intended to get like old people out of their office, they weren't making that distinction for legal reasons. And so I took advantage of that. Wow. Basically, like, and yeah. And so
I'm waiting for someone to buy me out of
buy you out of comedy. Buy you out of this podcast.
Totally.
You had $12, sir.
Yeah. And so it wasn't enough to like never work again, but it was enough to sort of have this
get you going.
Yeah, like cushion or whatever. And so that's why like when I say the joke about like, this is what this is my background for comedy, it kind of is true, It
led you there.
Yeah, it did. And so it's like, I don't know, for my own parenting, if I would steer my kid in a direction of like have a safe job, but I don't know. And also like, what is a safe job now with AI? Like who even knows? There's something to it in a way.
It's hard as a parent though, because you, at some point, your kids' decisions, and it's got to be an interesting transition. None of us are there in parent. None of our kids are old enough to think this way, but like at some point, you go from doing everything for them to then, now I've just got them, it's the horse to water thing. I've just brought them there. Now I've got to watch them make their own decisions and freak out about it because I'm so worried.
Yeah.
Right. So there is some point where you've got to go like, your responsibility in it. And I think it's the parents who think they still get to make those decisions for their adult kids that are a little weird.
Yeah.
I was definitely thinking of Italian moms in that way, like thinking like at their 20-something-year-old kid, like they're making decisions of their son's weddings and, weird or what they do.
Yeah.
At some point you've got to go, okay, I don't know if I did it right, but I did what I can do. Now I've got to just watch what they do. Because really, what are you going to do at a certain point? Like,
film it.
Especially after just film everything. And then maybe their job could be a reality show that you've started with the footage.
Yes, exactly. I get what you're saying. Also, it's fun because Eloise now is of the age where I think she laughs at the fact that I'm filming because recently we met a cat named Chloe and made a big impression. Okay. Honestly, this cat I think was pretty lukewarm on Eloise, but Eloise was obsessed with this cat.
Yeah, kids don't get that. They're like, this cat loves me too.
But we have a cat at home named Jack. Okay.
But
she's into Jack, but then we came home from our friend's house who had a cat named Covey. Which was how Chloe. And so that's how she said it. And I really wanted to grab cat named Chloe really a lot. And so I, put the camera on. I'm sitting with her and I was like, she's watching something, a music video of Noodle and Pals. And then I'm like, Eloise, what was the cat's name? And she's like, Cubby. And then she looks over at the camera because she knows that I did. And then she starts laughing.
Yeah.
And it was like such a fun moment because I'm like, oh, she gets that I want to capture her saying certain things. And that's what we're doing. And so, I think you were talking about the awareness we have as parents.
Yeah.
I think it's also something to like notice when your kids start to have awareness too.
Yeah, sure.
You know, it is a really beautiful.
My daughter talks to the camera when she did, like my wife will record them baking together.
Okay.
Or me and her cooking together. And I don't think she's ever watched a cooking show, but she talks to the camera like it's a cooking show.
That's funny.
She's like, okay, next we're going to, like, she's doing the steps and we don't post it online. It's just for us.
Right.
But she's got like a little apron on and a chef's hat. And she's like, okay, now the eggs go in there. And then she's like, now mix the eggs in. And she's doing the instructions. And I'm like, maybe she just picked that up from us saying that to her.
But maybe
it looks like a cooking show.
She's a cooking show.
She I'm obsessed with cooking. And my wife is a really good baker. So she does it with us. So I think she's just repeating the steps, but it literally sounds like a child, like Bobby Flay talking to a camera. Right. Because, in a child version of it.
Sure.
In the terms of, like, she knows to say the steps. And I'm like, that's a weird instinctual thing that like a human might have. Like, oh, I'm going to like look at the camera and talk to an audience.
Yeah.
Like she's not watching videos. I mean, I guess she's watching. But
that's interesting.
Miss Rachel or whatever, stuff like that.
Right. You're able to really see that.
Yeah. I'm like, why is she looking like she knows
it's her calling.
what a TV chef personality
There is no way she can cook for shit. There is.
Oh, no. On her own? Yeah. No, but I'll tell you what. I'm forcing it hard. Like I'm convinced by like 6, she will be able to make I'm convinced. I could be wrong. She will be able to make like a really good meatball. Because I'm like, I'm like, even when she's like bored of it.
Yeah.
I'm like, but you need the 3 different meats.
I want to come over. I don't eat meat, but the rest of my family does, and Eloise loves meatballs.
We make some pretty fucking great meatballs.
So I will.
He hates when I talk about how good of a chef I am.
Oh, can I come over?
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Good. Thank you.
And my daughter now, who's only 2 years older than yours, will talk like she's the elder.
Oh, yeah. Well,
like,
that's Eloise's...
like, this little baby. I have to take care of this baby now.
Right.
Like there's that funny thing that happens too when your kids are like 1 year older.
Yeah.
Or 2 years older. They're like, oh, I'm babysitting now.
Yeah.
Right.
I think
that's how my daughter was talking.
She's like, you want me to play with an 8-year-old?
But
it's
that's
like,
the
you're
thing.
fucking 9.
Right. Right.
You want hilarious. Me to babysit this child? I'm not ready for this kind of responsibility. I'm not ready to be a mom.
But meanwhile, Eloise's favorite demographic is older girls.
Yeah.
Of
mine
course,
too.
of course.
But no.
Whose isn't?
Yeah. But that's her fave. We saw some. Well, she loves a baby because little kids love babies.
Yeah.
It's funny, and it is really funny. Yeah. And then they like spot them in the wild. Baby. Yeah,
I'm like, you're a baby.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah,
you're a baby.
You're a baby right
and
now.
And that's just a woman with great Botox is what that is. But she really loves like slightly older girls.
Yeah.
Fave.
Yeah, it's the kids their own age sometimes are like a little like hit or miss, but younger and older, they're like, I can learn something from them, or I've been hired to take care of this child now.
It's very adorable.
Yeah.
So,
anyway. Liz, thanks so much for coming on.
Oh my God, thanks. Yeah. Let me plug one thing.
Yes,
because
of course. This is going to air in mid-September, just to let you know.
Great. I love mid-September. The leaves are falling.
So you don't plug something in August. That's all
no, totally. Yeah. But I have a special. It's on YouTube. It's called Do You Know Who I'm Not? And I would love for you to watch it. That's what I want to plug.
Yeah, please check it out. You're hilarious.
Thank you.
You're
you
very
too.
Funny.
Thank you. And a great cook. You are.
Thank you for taking my word for it.
It's a lot to hear week after week.
Sure.
Well, yeah, but as I've told you before, it is like one of the only things I'm proud of. So I'm going to talk about it a lot.
Yeah, but you're Italian, and so. I love Italian food. When I think
Notice she didn't say I love Italians.
No one does. I don't love Italians. But I love what they serve.
Everybody loves Italian food.
Well, I don't love everything they serve. Sometimes they serve racism. Like I don't love everything, but I love the food.
Great.
Yeah, I mean it's
honestly, it's so funny that you say that because apparently there's a place that has, and I'm sensitive to the time, but a place that has really great pizza, according to Dave Portnoy, which I know, people.
The only person that we should be listening to.
Sure. Well, but the thing is that I've come to trust him because he loves a bar pie, and so do I.
Yeah. That New York slice, that like. Yeah.
So apparently he reviewed a place near me really highly, and we get from there all the time bunnies.
Bunnies.
Yeah,
okay.
Bunnies in South Orange. Right, but apparently they had an incident involving racism.
Oh.
And so we ordered bunnies, and then we have this friend who hilariously always has like a list of places she doesn't go to or is banned from.
Yeah.
Which like that's a fun friend to have. And
is
so
banned from across the scene in there.
Yeah, it's great. And but she knows that about herself and like she's completely aware of it. But anyway, she's like, "Oh yeah, I love that you ordered from Bunnies. We can't order from there because they're racist." And I didn't know about the racism. But anyway, then it's funny because you were saying racism and I said it tastes good. What?
You can still order from there.
Here's the thing. We're in too deep.
Yeah.
And we have tried everything else because we listened to the Dave Portnoy review or watched it. And then we were like, interesting. I didn't think that it was better than Star Tavern and or Reservoir, which are both places that are sort of nearby. Okay. And then we did a taste test and then we did it again. And we're like, honestly, he's right.
He's right. Here's the thing. Everyone talks about cooking with love.
Yeah.
You ever try cooking with hate? I don't know. It's pretty.
Do you say that on stage?
That's a I do about Chick-fil-A.
Oh,
because
that's
I hate
great.
because like I don't want to love Chick-fil-A, but I do.
Yeah. That's really funny. But anyway, so we were saying at the party where she was at that she was eating the bunnies.
Yeah.
Just in spite of herself.
Right.
Because she's like, well, it's free. I mean, you got it, but
it's like I don't want to like this, right? Mm-hmm. But also like it's still delicious.
Yeah.
It's like still wanting to listen to Kanye West.
Oh yeah. Well, anyway, there is a place apparently in Asbury that he rated really high that I'm going to try tonight.
Okay. Well,
Galley something. I don't know. But what pizza do you like?
So there. I live in New York.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of like.
You live in the city?
I live now in Westchester. I grew up in Queens.
Okay, got it. Okay, so like Rizzo's or
there was a place called New Park Pizza that was great.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
What's the other one I'm thinking of? Like Bayside, Queens. I forget the name of it. I'm so out of the
sure,
Queens loop.
Yeah.
But in like Brooklyn, there's a bunch of
course. Yeah.
You know, was it DeFara's? And, you know, there's a bunch in Brooklyn in the city. You know, like Joe's Pizza is like just my favorite because it's like
great.
the standard, you know, just like that
totally.
good.
No, 100%. But anyway, so there's, but I don't remember even how we got on this, but I love Italian.
Yeah.
I love Italian.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all.
As you should.
Yeah.
Look.
Yeah, it's like, better with racism.
Like, well, yeah, like it's better. It's better. It doesn't have to be racism, like Chick-fil-A, right?
Right.
I mean,
it's
just not
overall bigotry.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Because here's my thing: whether it's love or hate, if you're cooking with passion, that's what makes food good. And I think about
meal prep,
like because
probably
like
best.
You need a person when they're cooking. You need a person who's like. They're super into what they're doing.
Yes.
Now, that might be fueled by the right or wrong things in the world.
Sure.
But if someone who is like, this is going to be the best thing you ever had, and I want that because I love you, or this is going to be the best thing I have, fuck you, you're going to fucking love it. Either way, that's a great dish right there because that person is... it's everything in them. You know, that's what you need when you do something well. Yeah. You got to put your soul into it.
100%.
Now, where that comes from, I don't care.
The mushrooms in Phantom Thread probably tasted amazing. Did you ever watch that?
What's that?
Phantom Thread?
No.
Oh, it's like the movie with Daniel Day-Lewis where, I don't know who the girl was, but she's like poisoning him with mushrooms.
Got it. Yeah. Well, I think about like my wife is from Staten Island, and there's so many great Italian restaurants specifically.
Sure.
Pretty much only.
Yeah.
In Staten Island. Like,
by restaurants, I mean Italian restaurants.
Yeah, I mean there are other good restaurants, but like that's when you think of like where am I gonna? Why would I? If I was gonna go to like a food trip, I'm doing Italian restaurants there. You know, again.
Yeah.
What do I want to hang out with? Do I want these people to influence like my daughter? Do I want these kids? No.
Right.
Give me the sauce.
Okay.
The pasta's going to be great. All right, Liz, thank you so much for coming on.
Oh my God, thank you. Yeah, totally.
Please, A Bit Too Much podcast and all the socials, like, subscribe, you know, do all the things.
Yes.
And please go watch Liz's special. You're hilarious.
Thank you.